She can't tell the difference yet.
That's really good. Camelfat, Elderbrook and Cola. And that was the choice of Noel Gallagher.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's really good, yeah. Thank you for that. Good. So you're in your studio at the moment. Is this the one where you've decorated... Are you walking around?
Sorry, I am. Yes, I'm. It's okay.
No, it's fine. I feel like I'm with you.
I can multitask. I can do the. I can do it. I can do many things at once.
That's okay. The signal's good, so it's all right. Is this the one that you've decorated yourself? Bits of it.
Well, I wasn't walking around with sheets of wallpaper, but I did do the interior design. Yeah, and I decorated the toilet in lockdown actually.
What's it like?
Well, I got in. My lads got these sticker books. They just have thousands of stickers in.
Of what?
And just like nonsense, kids stickers. And during the lockdown, I got so bored. I stickered both their bedroom doors, right?
Yeah.
And it looked great. And I thought, I'm going to do that in the toilet in my studio. So I've done it all four walls and from floor to ceiling.
Whoa.
And it looks great actually. But it's an amazing studio. It's my first ever privately owned studio. So I'm in there most days, noodling away.
Okay. How long have you had it for? Did you have it during lockdown or has it been since?
No, the work started before lockdown. Then it came to a halt. And then it was finished and it was opened in November last year. So I've been writing a new record in there ever since.
Oh, wow. So how far are you into that?
I've just started side 2.
Okay. You still think of it in that way?
Yeah, of course, yeah. I had side 1 completed before the summer holidays and I just started the first track of side 2 today and it went pretty well, actually.
Feeling good. Excellent.
Yeah. What
is your current state of mind?
Just back from LA, so I'm a bit jet lagged.
Okay.
But good, optimistic, and creative, and yeah, good. I mean, generally working on an 8.5 out of 10 anyway. You know what I mean? But there's not many things get me down. Not many things get me down.
Can you believe that you're feeling this way compared to maybe a year ago when we were in the pit of the pandemic and lockdown was going on? I can't imagine that was an 8.5.
No, but the booze helped.
What was your tip? What were you drinking?
Do you know what? I never, ever used to drink at home as a rule, right? Ever. I was like, if I wanted to drink, I'd go to the pub and have a drink. And I started drinking at home during lockdown. I got right into it. And it was just red wine and cider, not in the same glass. But red wine, drink a lot of red wine. And because I live out in Hampshire, there's the local cider is pretty spectacular.
Is it really? I've returned to cider because I used to drink cider back in the evening session days and then moved into Jack Daniels, then moved on to vodka and then realised just how much that hurt the morning after. And now cider works. Yeah,
well, the good thing about got that country cider is you can't have that many of it or you lose the use of your legs. So you can have like one a night and kind of, and feel good about it and feel good the next day.
Yeah, it's quite nice. So as you're drinking your cider, what are you watching on TV? What did you get involved with during lockdown?
Just the usual.
Can I put it in their closet, please?
Yes, thank you very much. Sorry, Joe.
Sorry, who's that?
Never mind who it was. Stop being so nosy. It was one of my
people. Pizza delivery? Oh, okay.
No. It's one of my lads. What did I get into lockdown? I actually started to watch a load of. That program that's on telly, Would I Lie to You?
Yeah.
Rob Brydon hosts it, and it's all comedians being spontaneously funny about where they're telling lies, and a bit like Call My Bluff back in the day when we were kids. So I've kind of been watching old reruns of that, and there was a few things that everybody was into, like what was he called, the Tiger King and that kind of thing. Oh yeah, you did that. Have you seen? I can't say the full title because it's got swear word in it, but have you seen Don't Mess with Cats?
No, I haven't. Is it good?
It's Don't F with Cats.
Yeah.
It is jaw-dropping. Okay. It's the most incredible story. Like at the end of every episode, you just think, and they set the next one up, and you're just like, God, no, what?
Okay.
So there's that, and there's another one called Wild Country. Have you seen that one?
No.
About the cult there's a cult in Arizona. I think it's Arizona or somewhere in America in the 80s. Unbelievable.
Oh, yes.
That was great. And I don't really not really a Game of Thrones thing or anything like that. I don't really watch things like that. But
No. You didn't do Married at First Sight?
No, never even heard of it. No. My missus was into The Handmaid's Tales and all that carry on. That's not for me.
Okay. Right, we should play a bit of the session. We'll talk more. We can always talk for hours, but let's play the first track, and this is Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. And just reading ahead of talking to you tonight, and you were saying you realised, actually, not in the very beginning, but you realised that Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds is kind of the style council in Paul Weller land. It's like he did the Jam and then he moved on to that.
Well, I was watching, there was a great Jam documentary on recently, and Style Council documentary. Finally, the story of the Style Council got told, one of my favourite ever groups. And,
so good.
It kind of dawned on me that the transition from a very male British guitar band to quite an exotic, multicultural band that was shifting and changing, which is what the Style Council were, has got parallels to me leaving Oasis and starting that thing. So, this is my version of the Style Council. Not that he's pleased when I say that, because...
I wish he was on the line right now.
Do you know what he'd say? You wish, mate. That's what he'd say.
All right.
But this is... the parallels were quite striking to me, actually.
Okay, we'll talk more after this. This is Flying on the Ground.
Lonely soul on the empty sea, how to setting sun, but you can't find me. I'm flying on the ground, yeah, I'm upside down, 'cause it got so high. And I'm walking single file on the open road. My head is in the clouds, got a heart of gold. So high. You never do what you're told, coming out of the cold. We'll say a prayer for everyone that we know. As the years fly by, I'll dry the tears from your eye. We need is love and a place we call home.
Flying on the Ground, Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, recorded especially for this show by Noel, who is on the line to us right now. It must have been incredibly daunting when you began doing shows as your incarnation, your Style Council, doing the big gigs and just having lots of people shouting out various requests. How did you overcome that?
I started out with theatres, which I didn't mind because I hadn't done them for years with Oasis, particularly in England. And then it kind of blew up really quickly. And I remember I didn't when I played the O2, I didn't enjoy it at all. I felt dwarfed by the venue, and I've not played many arenas since, I've got to say.
Because you enjoy the interaction, I guess, with the audience.
Yeah. And it's something we quickly went. I don't think we ever did theatres with Oasis. We went straight from nightclubs to stadiums. We kind of bypassed the theatre circuit. So I got to do it, and it's kind of where my level is now. But on the night of my first gig, your ego takes over, and you're kind of thinking, I wonder how long it'd be before somebody shouts out for an Oasis song. I thought they'll give it an hour. Right, it was within. I don't think I'd even played a note before someone was shouting out for "Slide Away." You know what I mean?
And how did you? A leveler, I guess that was.
I mean, I'm so used to it by now. You just got to get on with it. You know what I mean? And luckily, my records have all been quite successful, so that's kind of faded away now into the bit. There's still the usual Liam kind of thing, and but.
Yeah, I'd imagine you feel incredibly fulfilled now, having done 10 years of High Flying Birds.
Well, I have to say, before that best of came out, right, because we're always busy, we're always touring. We did kind of 5 world tours back to back almost, so I never really had time to stop and think how it was or what it meant. And I always felt that it was that High Flying Birds was tolerated by my fan base and not really loved, right? It was so tolerated. Oh, we'll go see him. He'll play some of the big tunes at the end. Blah, blah. But when we did the best of, and it got to number 1, I was like, well, hang on a minute, I might have to rethink this. You know what I mean? Because people have got all these tracks, and it's still so well and meant to number 1. So that in itself has given the band a new lease of life, and I'm more into it now than I was when I started.
I would simply mean, I think it would simply mean the world to you.
What, my band now? Of course.
Well, no, just having done that transition of having achieved so much with Oasis, which I know you're incredibly proud of. But this must make you feel incredibly proud too, almost on the same level, but maybe it means more.
Yeah, well, to leave an institution like that and start again, and it be so different, and to make it work, and to really challenge the people who bought my first album, going all the way through to the EPs and Who Built the Moon, and really challenged them, and has been brilliant. And I've loved every second of it, and no 2 days have been the same. And when you're in a band and there's you've got girls on the road, it adds an whole another dynamic, and it's like a travelling soap opera, you know what I mean? And two
when
of
you're
those
sitting
girls,
in the dressing room and everyone's getting ready.
Well, they have their own dressing room. I don't know what goes on in there, right? But but when we gather to go on, and one of them will look to you and say, "Oh, I like that top." No one's ever said that to me in a dressing room before you go on. You know what I mean? I kind of like, what? Oh, thanks. Or they'll say, "Oh, you're wearing that tonight?" You're like, well, not now. I'm going to change now, I think. But it's been a brilliant decade. Brilliant. I wouldn't have changed a single thing about it.
How wonderful to say that. Let's play the cover that you've done for us, and we asked you to do a vintage gem, and you've gone for a Bob Dylan track that nobody I know who are big Bob Dylan fans have ever heard in their life. I've asked quite a lot of people.
Really? Well, I love Bob Dylan, obviously, and every time I'm asked to do a cover, I always try. For radio stations around the world, and we need a cover. I always try and throw an Oasis song in. They're like, "Nice try," but no, we want a proper cover. And so this song called "You Ain't Going Nowhere," I didn't realise it was so obscure until I did a rough kind of thing of it, and I sent it to the band before they all arrived to play on it. And Gem, when he got to the studio, he said, and I was with Bob Dylan, and he said, "Oh, was it a Dylan song?" And I was like, yeah. And he said, "I thought the lyrics were a bit weird." He said, "I said to me, mate, I think he's gone mad. He's talking about dogs that walk and fish that talk and all sorts of nonsense." And I was like, "Oh no, it's a Dylan song." He's like, "Well, I've never heard it." And apparently was never on. I don't think it was ever on an album, but I've got it on a bootleg somewhere. But it's an amazing song by literally one of the greatest artists of our lifetime. And yeah, here it is.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That was fantastic.
Thank you. Well, yeah, I love it. I mean, his version is a lot more ramshackle than that.
Okay, well, it suits you though, doing that.
Oh yeah. Well, I love. We do a version of the Mighty Quinn as well. I love covering Dylan songs because they're lyrically so amazing to sing, and the chords are quite simple on the guitar, and they're all open to interpretation, and you can kind of mess with them a little bit and speed them up, slow them down, and Dylan's great to cover.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh, no, enjoyed that a lot. Listen,
Thank you.
going back to the pandemic, you've said in the past that it's been dreadful. It was dreadful for you, and I just wonder whether you'd elaborate on that, because everyone has had their own experience on what it was like. But you said it was difficult for your whole family.
Yeah. The kids, homeschooling was brutal.
What kind of a teacher were you?
Oh, dreadful. I'm not getting involved in that. I went to school back in the 70s. I'm not now homeschooling. Forget that.
So you left that to Sarah.
Yes.
Yeah. But why do you feel for your kids?
Well, they just started a new school. And then COVID broke out, so they didn't have a time to get their feet under the table. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Making like a gang of friends and all that. So they were just kind of sat at home all day, and in their underpants eating toast while trying to do homeschooling is an awful thing. Kids need to be out and and mingling together, and it was just the endless days of nothing, and knowing that, and every 3 months there was another statement from the government saying, well, it's going to be another 6 months, it's going to be another year, and it felt like there was never going to be an end to it. And I personally, I wrote loads. I wrote every day, and that side of it was great. But
did you see a difference? Did you see an impact in your children? And also, you talked about Sarah too, about how hard it was for her.
Yeah, she didn't react to it well at all. Sarah's very social. She's a social butterfly, she's out and all the time. And for her, I think it was like being put in a straitjacket.
Being stuck with you.
But because I'm an artist, so my whole world is inside my head, and I can retreat into my room at home and pick up the guitar and I can write my way through it. Well, if you don't have that and you're just watching the news or searching for what all this is going to mean, that's not very good for your brain, I don't think.
A lot of anxiety.
And I'm kind of trying around the house slightly sozzled, going, this is great. Yeah, I brought another great song today. I said, I'll have another drink. You can see people are just like, really nice one. Well, but it was. Were there tensions?
Yeah, no, I said that there is tension. Yeah, amongst all. When you're living confined. Yeah. Yeah,
well, you don't spend that much time with your family normally, like all day and all night. Usually the kids go to school, your wife will go off and do her thing and you do her thing, and then you kind of meet for dinner. That's kind of, you've got the day to do your own thing. When you're around all day, every day for over a year, I mean, to come out the other side of it, still smiling is a good thing, I think. You know what I mean? So you just give thanks that we're kind of on the way out now, and touch wood.
And what about Anaïs? Because she's older, isn't she? You've got the younger kids, and then
Anaïs, Anaïs, she celebrated her 21st in lockdown.
Difficult age.
Yeah, and we, households weren't supposed to mingle, so we broke the law by celebrating it with her with a takeaway. Your 21st with a takeaway with your dad and your stepmom is not really how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in Prague or somewhere, wearing a sombrero and getting sick in the gutter. You know what I mean? That's what they do in it. But yeah, it's brutal for Anaïs. She's 21st came and went, and
it's painful, isn't it, as a parent?
I mean, as a parent, any problems your kids have, you immediately try and fix them. When it's a thing so big as what happened, it's out of your hands. You can't do anything. There's only so many. There's only so you can kick a ball around the garden, I suppose, and you can even that becomes boring. So there's only so much you can do. And I know people had it harder than I did, right? But still, it's your own immediate family, and they were wilting a little bit,
Yeah. Are they? There is optimism now, isn't there? There is. Looking forward.
Oh yeah, everybody's back to normal now. Yeah. Okay. Kids are saying they hate me and all that, so everything's back to normal.
Excellent, doing your job well. Right. The next thing we'll play is this. I keep going to say cover, the song that you've done for us, and this is a very special cover. I listened to it last night, and I found it quite emotional doing it. So just tell us about why you chose this song to do.
Well. So we're in that. We've done Flying on the Ground, and nowadays everybody wants an Oasis song, and I always end up doing the same 2 or 3. And I was like, really? Oh God! And I kind of started doing Don't Look Back, Don't Look Back in Anger and Wonderwall and Half the World Away, and I was like, I'm just so bored of doing them for radio stations, and I'd never ever since the day I wrote this song and since the day I sang it to the band in 1993 in the rehearsal room, I've never sang Live Forever once, never in a sound check, never even when Liam didn't bother turning up for gigs. We never did it. It was always his song and he sang it amazingly well. And I don't know why that day I just started, I'd had the guitar in a different tuning, and for some reason it suited my voice that day, and I kind of strummed it a little bit. And I was like, actually, this might work. Now, as it unfolded, the version that you're about to hear, it's only dawned on me. I wrote this song as a 23-year-old, and singing it as like a 54-year-old, it kind of started to take on a different meaning. And I got quite emotional singing it. I couldn't sing it all the way, so I had to stop a couple of times because. Wow. It's a little bit different. Some of the chord structures are a little bit different, but the melodies are the same and all that. And then when the final version, because it's a song that changed my life. We were Oasis was a going concern, and we were a good band, but it was indie music. But the day after I wrote that song, we became great. and I knew that I'd set the bar high, that was the benchmark, and went out to outdo that song every time I wrote a song. And everything that made Oasis great stemmed from that moment. And to get to sing it now as a father of 3 and been all the way through that, and like in its original form, Live Forever is a fist pumping, we are going to take on the world. Me and my best friend are going to take on the world, and no one's going to get in our way, and we're going to live forever. And seeing it now as a 54-year-old father, you're kind of looking back over your life, and it's taken on a completely different meaning. And everyone that's heard it has got quite emotional listening to it and thinking, wow, it's actually, this will reinstate it back as actually this is the best song I ever wrote. Because usually people go on Don't Look Back in Anger and wonder, well, actually, this is the best song I ever wrote.
This has always been the one for me. You did this on the evening session, 7th of June, 1994. And I remember...
it was a proper evening session anthem. It was, totally. A youth anthem written by youths for their audience who were all in the same circumstances, which is why it took on such great meaning at the time and elevated us into classic band status. And now... playing it now and listening to it now, and obviously I'll get to do it at the gigs. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
You are going to do it at the gigs. Okay, right. Let's let everybody listen to this. It's just so touching listening to the words that you wrote and with you singing it with the inflection that you want it to have. It's really quite affecting. So we'll listen now. Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds and Live Forever.
Said maybe, don't really want to know how your garden grows, 'cause I just want to fly. Said lately, did you ever feel the pain? The morning rain, 'cause it soaks you to the bone. Maybe I just want to fly, I want to live, I don't want to die. Maybe I just want to breathe. Maybe I just don't believe. Maybe you're the same as me. We see things they'll never see. You and I gonna live forever. Said maybe, don't really want to know. Garden grows, 'cause I just want to fly. Said lately, did you ever feel the pain? The morning rain, 'cause it soaks you to the bone. Maybe I will never be all the things that I want to be. And now is not the time to cry. Now's the time to find out why. I think you're the same as me. We see things they'll never see. You and I, we're gonna live forever. Said maybe, I don't really want to know how your garden grows, 'cause I just want to fly. Said lately, did you ever feel the pain? The morning rain, 'cause it soaks you to the bone.
Extraordinarily beautiful and could not be more poignant. That's Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, recorded exclusively for us on this show, and that was Live Forever. Noel, that's just, I mean, how did that feel listening back to it?
I've heard it quite a bit, but it's great. I mean, you know, yeah. I was blown away, but you know, it's such a great song. I was blown away by how it just all kind of came together over a day, and I was thinking, wow, this is going to work, and it's one of my best songs, and it's like, oh great, I've
You've nailed it.
Yeah, well, no, I wouldn't say I've nailed it. My God, I don't want to upset the Oasis fan base. I mean, they're quite mad. No, I'm not nailed it, but kind of to finally get to sing it is a privilege. So thanks for asking me. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of made up that I finally got to sing it and sang it well, and it's a bona fide new version. So it's all good.
I think that's how I felt last night when I listened to it. I was like, oh, so this is how it was supposed to be. This is what Noel meant. That's what I felt.
Honestly, you'll get death threats off Oasis fans if you say I've nailed it. That's it. No.
I was going to ask you. We're running out of time. I was going to ask you whether you'd elaborate on why you left Oasis, because I was. It seemed to me that you were just simply not enjoying it at the very end as much as you should have been. Is that a fair assessment of what it was like? And we are running out of time, so it has to be a fairly succinct answer. But the crux of it.
Nobody was happy. Liam wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. It run its course. You know, it's like a marriage. You know what I mean? It was done. Simple as that. It was done, and it took somebody, or it took an incident, the straw to break the camel's back, and that was it. And I think I'm way happier now than I was the last few years of Oasis. So it's all good. It's all good.
Going back 25 years ago, so 25 years ago last night, we did an interview on the evening session, which is, the timing is bizarre and very funny.
No way, really?
Yes.
No
yeah,
way.
yeah. No, I got home last night.
I did not know that.
Someone on Twitter, it's Britpop Memories, I think it is, posted the interview that I did with you on the evening session. Steve had gone on holiday, so we talked 25 years ago last night on the radio.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Wow. Well, it's all meant to be then, right?
Yeah. So I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions from that interview, because we asked for fan questions to come through. So we'll see, compare and contrast your answers now. Helen Page from Nottingham, 25 years older now, obviously, wants to know, who's your favourite member of Oasis? Who would it be now? What would you say now?
Who would it have been then?
Yeah.
Then I would have said Bonehead.
You said Liam.
Did I?
Yeah. You actually said, right, quote, Liam in particular gets a lot of stick. I feel sorry for him sometimes.
Oh, so I was saying him out of pity. Okay.
Who'd you say now?
I mean, there's been so many people in that band, about 13 at the last count. I'll say Liam. I'd say Liam, yeah. You know, he's the front man. And when people see the Nebworth thing in a couple of weeks, you'll understand what I mean by that. Okay,
you're excited for people to see this.
It is is it the best gig we ever did? I don't know, but it's a historic moment in the band's life, and obviously they were the biggest gigs ever in British music. It was the one big gig we managed to pull off. It's great. I don't know whether you've seen it, but if you can see it at the cinema, I'd go and see it, because, you know, to see the Prodigy and Keith, God rest his soul, and all the other. It was literally a who's who of Britpop apart from Pulp and Blur, and an amazing snapshot of a pre-internet age. Great.
Yeah, and and watching yourself on stage. Can you remember what was going on in your head?
Yeah. I can't remember at the time, but watching it back now, I am making sure that everybody in the field knows that this is an historic moment, because I say it about 40 times. And even I'm saying to the director while we're doing the thing, and I've got to come and watch a bit, and then he's got to do it, but then I've got to go back a couple of weeks later, and I'm saying, can we cut some of this stuff out? And he was going, not really. And I was like, I keep saying this is history about 20 times. And I don't know whether it's because I had literally nothing to say, or I was hell-bent on everybody knowing how historic this moment was. It was there's some funny bits in it, and some the bits that I found quite emotional were the bits where they're interviewing fans on the day, and then they found those same fans and they're interviewing them now. And obviously we're all in our 50s, and everybody's talking about what it meant then and what Oasis meant and what it means now. And it's kind of like it all got quite too much for me, and I was like, wow, this is mad, you know. And
to have played that part in people's lives.
yeah, well, to be in a band that meant that much to people is overwhelming sometimes, you know. It really is.
I'm sure. One of the other questions, sorry, I'm losing my voice. One of the other questions at the very end, excuse me, of this interview we did 25 years ago was me saying to you, are you still friends with Blur then? Do you know what your answer was?
Oh, God.
You said, no, I hate
Go
them,
on.
knobheads.
It was, you know, they were tense times with that band then, but thankfully it's all ended up great, and me and the big man are friends now, so it's all good.
Okay, and still making excellent music, both of you today, which is excellent.
Well, he's
doing so
far
well,
out.
isn't he? Yeah.
He never has a day off.
Have you worked together lately, or have you worked, or will you be working in the future?
If I'm asked, I'll get up with Gorillaz any day of the week. It's a great little thing. Well, it's not to say it's little. A great big thing he's got going on there. I mean, when I done those gigs with him around the time of when we did We've Got the Power, you know, backstage is just amazing. All these, you know, I met De La Soul as like grew up listening to them. Do you know what I mean? And I was, you know, and all the rap guys they have with them and all that. It's amazing to see how he's puts all that together and make it work. And you know, and now doing a tune with Robert Smith is like, oh,
I know.
You know,
it's just literally ticking off boxes.
It's just unbelievable. I mean, Robert. I mean, I don't want to waffle on here, but I'd seen The Cure a couple of years ago at Roskilde Festival, and I'd never seen them before. And honestly, I got to stand on the side of the stage and watch them, and they were outrageous band. And he's one of my favourite ever pop stars, Robert Smith.
Yeah.
Love him dearly.
Likewise. Okay, sorry. So you would go if Gorillaz, if Damon asks you, then you'd happily be on the next record.
Of course. Yeah.
Steve French from Coventry, listeners' questions. If you could be any singer or songwriter other than yourself, who would you be?
What is this? Is this something that I said then, or
no? This is no. We've done that now. That's done.
This
We're
is
running
now.
out of time.
This now. Let me see. Now, I still harbour ambitions of being Neil Young.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going to start a Neil Young tribute act in the 90s. Call it Noel Young.
On that subject, one of my a question that's just come through, and they said this is a very important question. Can you please ask Noel who his favourite Noel of all time is? This is important, they say.
It'd have to be there's not that many. It'd have to be Noel Edmonds.
Excellent, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy with that.
Can I tell you a funny story about that? About 3 years ago, I was out for lunch with Sarah and a couple of her mates, and we were in this restaurant, and they took us to the table, and sat at the very next table was Noel Edmonds.
Did you speak?
So, of course we did.
Did you do a selfie?
I think we might have done a selfie. Yeah, no, it didn't go out on the internet, but it's like this is the first and the second Noel. It's unbelievable.
That is excellent. And Dwayne from Ipswich said, I'm a massive fan of you and also Liam and of course Oasis. The Oasis reunion question pops up all the time. Not going to go there, but as you and Liam can't seem to get together, would you ever consider doing a gig or a concert with the Liam Gallagher hologram?
I did say that once, right, in the press that I'd bought the footage from Nebworth and I was going to stage the concert with holograms of the band and me. I think Liam took it seriously. I went into a meltdown. But yeah, I mean, Liam is a hologram anyway. I don't know whether people know that. He's not actually real. But yeah, I'd do it. Of course I'd do it.
Are you talking now? Is it good at the moment? Still not happening?
No.
Okay.
No, we've got nothing to say. No.
Okay, just in case anything changed over the last 24 hours.
No, if anything ever changes, trust me.
You'll call me.
He would be the first to let people know about it. So...
Listen, it's lovely to have you on the show. Thank you very much indeed. We are going to run out of time soon, so we're going to end with your childhood song, a song that takes you back to being dead young, and you've gone for The Damned. Tell us about this.
Yeah, well, The Damned was the first band I ever saw in 1979 or 1980, and they're still one of my favourite ever bands. And this, is it Neat 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 I've picked? Is it
yeah,
Neat,
it
Neat,
is,
Neat?
yeah.
Yeah. It's just got a great little bass intro, and all the punk stuff is very important to me. John Lydon's one of my heroes, and I love The Damned, particularly the early stuff, and the Buzzcocks and the Clash, and yeah, that's when I first got into music. Was kind of the back end of punk and the beginning of new wave, so like Weller and Talking Heads and all that. So, but this is a great tune, great energy, great vibe.
We shall play it. Are you going on tour? When will we see you on tour? Will it be 2022?
I don't know. Well, for my level of gigs, which are theatres, there's not been anybody saying anything. But I had a plan anyway at the end of 2019 was to take 2020 off. Then 2021 was writing, 2022 was recorded, and then go back out in 2023. So I'm still ahead of schedule.
Target.
So I'm
Okay.
I'm not planning on doing anything till 23 anyway. But if Glastonbury happens and they want me to do it, I'll do that. I'd probably do the TCT if they asked. I'd do something if it was cool. But I'm not planning on tour because I've not got a record out. So.
Okay, but we do need to see Live Forever done live by you and the High Flying Birds.
Yeah.
Maybe Glastonbury then. That would be good.
Hopefully, yeah. I'm looking forward to playing it. Yeah.
Okay, we shall end tonight's show. Noel Gallagher, thank you. You're a hero and a gent, and it's lovely to chat to you.
Thank you very much.
We shall play The Damned, and this is Neat, Neat, Neat. Take care. Lots of love.
See you later, Joe. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.